The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons. Today we have another interesting show. We're going to be talking about Volunteers of America. It's a program that is throughout Montana, well, the nation first of all, Montana, and also Wyoming. It's in Montana's major cities where they help individuals, usually like veterans, find housing, employment, and maybe even have some renting programs that can help them, so stay tuned.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
Here in Montana, we love our outdoor activities. Unfortunately, few of them are risk-free. Indeed, Montana is second in the nation per capita in head injuries that can destroy the lives of people we love. That's why you should insist your family always wear protective helmets. But you can do even more. When you fill out your vehicle registration this year, circle the Y and donate $1 to support traumatic brain injury prevention and education. Now that's using the old noggin.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
Hi folks, welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services Senior and Long-Term Care Division. I'm your host, Brian Lamore. And I mentioned earlier we're talking about Volunteers of America. You may not have heard of them, but they are very active nationally in Montana and also Wyoming. And they provide a lot of benefits to different individuals, the generalized veterans, in assisting them and I guess in adapting to civilian life. Of course, we have a wonderful guest today with Volunteers of America is Danielle Godlewski, and you're the SOAR coordinator.
Yes.
And welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you.
And you know, Volunteers of America, it's a great name, but we're not sure what all you do. Can you explain it? You're quite a big organization.
We are. We're kind of a well-kept secret.
Yeah.
Volunteers of America started in the 1800s, the late 1800s. Two brothers formed Salvation Army, and they had a little bit of a falling out in their worldview. And one brother and his wife took Salvation Army, and they do what they do. And one brother and his wife formed Volunteers of America. The falling out was over whether they were going to help incarcerated folks. They felt that incarcerated folks deserve a shot at redemption and recovery, and so Volunteers of America was formed.
Ah, great. And you've really evolved over the years. You offer a lot of different programs. God, what would maybe be your mission statement?
What we do is we help vets, and we help stabilize vets in all aspects of their lives. And we also help seniors as well. We help folks with addiction issues, and also we have a small grant that comes from the Ryan White Foundation for folks with AIDS.
And you're throughout Montana, aren't you? I mean, could you tell us the different cities that you're in, and then how do you provide services through these cities in Montana?
We are in, as you said, we are in all of the major cities. We're in Missoula and Kalispell, Butte and Billings and Great Falls and Miles City and Helena as well. And we help, primarily our focus in Montana is with veterans and especially with housing.
Yeah.
Veterans come to us if they are homeless, if they're literally homeless. They come to us if they are in danger of becoming homeless. We can help their families as well, whatever they conceive of as their family unit.
Yeah.
And what we can do is, when they call us, we can, oftentimes it's a case-by-case basis. So it's not just cookie cutter, this is what you get. Right. We look at the folks, we look at their situation, and we can often help with a rental deposit. We can help give them ideas of where to look for housing. We can help with first month rent. We can help with several months rent after that in some cases. We can also help them with a move-in kit, anything that they need to get started with housekeeping. We can also assist in some cases with emergency housing if that is needed, if their case is emergent. We can also assist with things like car repairs. We can assist with child care if needed, anything to get the folks stabilized.
Great. Well, it sounds like you do a lot for our veterans. And how are you funded? Are you a government program? Are you a nonprofit? Do you get donations?
We are not for profit. And we run on a grant that is administered through the VA, through Fort Harrison. Okay.
So then, like through Fort Harrison, they coordinate, you're part of the coordination of services for veterans.
Yes.
Okay, and you're the SOAR, S-O-A-R coordinator. And as a SOAR coordinator, what are your job duties and how do you help individuals?
My part is, it's a small part of VOA in Montana, and I cover all of Montana. I help vets and their families get onto Social Security, disability, or retirement. I can also help them if they have any questions about their Social Security, or if they're having trouble, I can help be the liaison.
Oh, that's great. So it's a good time to put up the telephone number. And you'll get lots of calls, I hope, from this show. And to generalize, is there kind of a typical call, or what are some of the major calls that you get for assistance?
Typical call is, just like a call I had yesterday. I took the call even though I'm not in housing, but he said, I am going to be evicted from my apartment and I'm going to be literally homeless. What can I do? Can you help me? And so he came in to the office yesterday and was able to sit right with a housing coordinator, and they did the beginnings of the enrollments. It's a lengthy process getting the enrollment because we need a lot of paperwork and things like that, and they got that started. And he was already starting to look for another apartment. So we gave him some extra lists of people that usually rent for our folks.
And anymore, the way rents are and the availability of rentals, it's got to be kind of a tough job.
It is. It is. Out there, rents have gone up so high in just the last few years. They've tripled and sometimes quadrupled in places. And it is a big challenge, especially with folks that are on fixed income, either VA disability or Social Security disability.
Well, we have so much more to talk about, how Volunteers of America can help individuals throughout the state of Montana, particularly veterans, to address different types of housing issues and rental issues. They're there to help. Let's use them. We'll be right back.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. At least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, call your local area agency on aging or Adult Protective Services at 1-844-277-9300.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
You mean I can get help paying my prescription drug premiums?
Let me get this straight. I could be eligible for help with my family's prescription premiums even though I own my own home?
And our assets won't be counted.
If you're a Montana resident enrolled in the Medicare prescription drug program, you could be eligible for help paying your premiums. Call or visit the Big Sky RX website today to find out, even if you think you're over income.
What do you know about that? I'm eligible.
When I found out it was diabetes, my first thought was, Barb, you need help. You have to take control of this. There is help. My doctor gave me a phone number. I called and signed up with a diabetes educator. There is help. I have to put blinders on when I walk past the bakery counter. I can feel my blood sugar go up. You succeed a little at a time. If you have diabetes, help is available. You do not have to do it alone.
Ask your doctor about diabetes education or visit montana211.org.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're continuing our discussion about Volunteers of America. An organization has been around since, about the 1800s. It's serving Montanans and kind of a focus on veterans. What we've been talking about, the housing assistance that they can offer. Rejoining us is Danielle Godlewski. And Danielle, you mentioned that off camera that there's several little programs that you offer too. What are those little programs and how do they benefit individuals?
We also offer what's called healthcare navigation, and it's to help vets that are trying to navigate the VA system and get plugged into the VA system. It's also for folks that have a lot of compelling medical issues. We have folks that have severe diagnoses, and it's to help them get all of their medical stuff together and organized and get to appointments and starting to get them stabilized health-wise. And we have a couple folks in Montana who do that, and they work their magic.
Yeah, okay. And there's other programs that you offer too?
Another program that we offer is the employment part. We help folks that come in that are having a harder time getting employment. We help them with resumes. We help them to know where to look for employment. We help them with a little bit of aptitude. What do you want to be when you grow up? We help them also get possibly if they need uniforms, if they need specialized training. We've helped folks get back their electrician license because a lot of money goes into that.
Yeah,
and we can also help with other little trainings like OSHA and CPR and first aid and things like that. Whatever they need for that first day, we can get them tools, anything that they need. And that program is administered through the Department of Labor. It's called HVRP.
But you would be possibly an entry point in that you're interviewing the veteran and you see certain issues and you can find resources for them.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Another program is called Shallow Subsidy, where it's another part of the housing program. After the initial getting the apartment or getting the housing, some vets that have income can be eligible for the Shallow Subsidy program, which can help them for 2 years. and it can help them. They pay half of the rent for 2 years, and they offer some case management and offer the ability to be able to hopefully save some money so that they can be stable after the 2 years. My program is the SOAR program, as I mentioned earlier, and helping folks navigate through the Social Security Department. And the other probably the other biggest program is called moral injury. And moral injury is fairly new through the VA system, and what it is folks that have been in combat often experience events that go against their morals and ethics and against their beliefs. Usually it's against our nature to hurt people, and in the military that has to happen, and folks who have been commanded by their officers to maybe off of intelligence that this building over here houses insurgents or the enemy, and so the folks in the military will bomb it and later discover that it was a school. And the incredible pain that comes from that. A little while back, they were helping folks with PTSD and helping doing treatment with PTSD, and they were running into the fact that PTSD wasn't everything. It didn't solve everything, and they realized that these folks from the military were suffering moral injury as well.
Yeah.
And it's a soul injury.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting term, and as you explain it, you go, of course. And it's part of the military's actions, I guess, is what they do. And it's probably been around forever. Is this kind of a new program, or your program's been around since the late 1800s? Has this been something that's you've been doing for quite a while?
The moral injury aspect is fairly new. We just have started it in the last 5 years. We've started the last 5 years-ish. It's really come to the forefront as being a problem. And moral injury is not necessarily just military people. Civilians can experience it if they've been told to do something that goes against their beliefs. And it can definitely be, like I said, that soul injury, and they carry that with them, that depression, that sadness, that being apart from society.
And is this program available to non-veterans, it sounds like?
For non-veterans, it would be through regular therapy and counseling sessions and stuff like that with folks that are cognizant of that concept. For the military folks, we have moral injury groups that meet, and they are peer run, and we're always looking for volunteers that would be interested in learning how to facilitate them.
Okay.
As I said, peers, folks that are from the military that have been there, that can talk, they can talk to each other.
And they understand the issues because they've been there. Well, this is really interesting. We've drawn to a close on our second segment. And it's amazing what the Volunteers of America, the depth and breadth of what they do, including this moral injury and how they're extrapolating that, I guess, also to civilians. But they need some volunteers. And if that interests you, we've got information on that and so much more in our next segment. Stay tuned.
Respite care is amazing. If you are capable of doing it, the rewards are beyond measure.
Stephanie Young, respite care provider, on the unexpected benefits of helping people in need.
Being a respite care provider is an amazing experience. It's something that what you give, you get back 100-fold. You receive so much more than you could ever imagine.
To find out how to change lives, including your own, go to respite.mt.gov.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
This is Bill. He just received his new Medicare card and is following some simple rules to protect himself from fraud. He knows to never give out his Medicare, Social Security, or bank number over the phone. And this is Nancy. She knows that to detect any problems, she always reads her Medicare summary notice or Medicare Advantage EOB to make sure the billing is correct. Both Bill and Nancy know that anything suspicious can be reported to Montana SMP at 1-800-551-3191.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, but my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
Hi folks, and welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we continue our discussion with Volunteers of America. They started up in the 1800s and have been around for over 100 years. And they're providing services to Montanans, actually individuals throughout the nation. Rejoining us is Danielle Godlewski. You're with Volunteers of America. You're the SOAR coordinator. And earlier we were talking off camera that this is the beginning of August and COVID rental assistance is concluding for individuals. Yes. Now this is about a month later. How can you help those individuals who are possibly facing evictions or can't make their rent payments?
As I said earlier, we can help them with deposit and first month's rent and stabilization stuff. We also offer a little what we call landlord incentive, and we can offer it for folks that are a bit harder to place in housing. Maybe they've had alcohol issues and don't have very good landlord references, or maybe they have pets or other things like that make them difficult to rent too. And what we can do is we can offer landlords sometimes double, sometimes triple deposits that the landlords they don't have to return to us at the conclusion of the lease. They can pocket that money.
Okay.
Other things like that to just help. It'll help our folks along the way.
Great. So any landlords out there that are listening, they'd like to participate in your program, we'll have some numbers up here. They probably want to talk to you and Helena, right? And you can take it from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Well, you also offer a program that's called Prison Help, and that's unique. I don't know if there's a lot of organizations working with people in prisons. What is the help that you offer them?
Specifically in Montana, what we do is we go into the prison, we go right into Deer Lodge, and we do this about on a month basis. We go up to the prison and we talk with some of the folks that are ready to get out in about a year or so. And we get them talking about planning, what they're going to do when they get out, where they're going to live, when you go up to the parole board, what are you going to say? We can help them word things and get an idea of how their life is going to be, what they're going to do differently this time. We can also start with employment things.
Yeah.
And that's our HVRP program that does that.
Okay. Well, you really got a lot of diversity here, but now we've left one out too so far, is Social Security. How do you help individuals with Social Security? I
can help them get onto SSI, which is a needs-based program for folks that haven't worked very much. I can help them get onto the SSDI program, which is the work-based program. It goes off of your work credits. I can also help with retirement, getting onto early retirement or retirement. I can also help troubleshoot if a veteran has had a check reduction due to overpayment. I can help them with some hardship paperwork. I can also help, there's one very little known program that can help pay for the Medicare premium that gets taken out of SSDI or retirement checks. The Medicare premium can run like $170 a month, and for somebody who's only getting $1,000 a month, that's a big chunk of money that's being taken out for their Medicare premium. And it's just a very short application. It's called a Medicare Savings Program, and it's administered through Medicaid. It's not full-blown Medicaid, but it can help pay that Medicare premium, and that's administered through OPA, the Office of Public Assistance, and I help them with that.
Yeah. You know, we've been mentioning a lot of different agencies and everything, and it sounds like you're kind of a central information or one-stop shop to help these individuals be aware of what benefits are out there and to help them with them. But now we also you also have a website, and I imagine that is a great place to go first to find out what all you have to offer. And do you have like applications or what kind of information do you have on your website that helps the viewer?
We have a general idea of, we give a general idea of what we offer, the different programs that I've mentioned. We don't have any specifics because everything is so case by case basis. It's really individualized what the person or the family needs. They can also find out where our locations are and the numbers, the contact numbers, and it gives a good idea of who we are and what we do.
You know, many times you just, let's say you have a veteran or a senior, you have a loved one that's concerned about them, and they may initiate a contact to you. Is that right?
Yes.
And you can help then through a concerned family member or third party to help address the issues of the individual?
Yes, we've had family members call, we've had community members call, we've had landlords call us and just been concerned about their tenant or their family member or their friend or somebody that they see out there flying a sign, "Hungry Vet, please help." And we will do outreach to them and try to see if they would be eligible for our program, and if they're not, we help them get to where they can get some help.
Get some help, so that's great. Well, Danielle, thank you so much for coming in and serving all our Montanans through the job that you do and through the Volunteers of America. That's great.
Thank you.
Great. And for our viewers, I think you've heard that there's a lot of different programs that Volunteers of America has been offering really over 100 years, from prisoners to veterans to seniors, disabilities, and rental assistance, and even helping landlords work with their clients. It's been a great show. Thanks for joining us.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.